Hey, shalom, shalom. It's your brother Rizal Allah from GMS London Camp. First and foremost, when they give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekakodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone, blessings to the hopeful and sincere elect. And now watching this new series, well actually it's an old series that we just got put on Netflix, but goes back to production came out in 2019, for matter of fact. And funny enough, they just released it on Netflix recently, and it's basically a satire type of spoof on modern day politics, geopolitics, and basically based in Europe, mainly the UK, but involves like America as well, which I'm gonna speak about briefly. In that, it promotes the dystopian New World Order type scenarios of basically false flag events, concentration camps, martial law, and nuclear war, ultimately nuclear war, or as I said, false flags. In regards to these trade tariffs, and funny enough, what's the main topic of discussion on the main news is regarding these tariff wars, the trade wars that's going on back and forth between America and China. Now, as I said, this program goes back to 2019, but even in this program itself, which is commonly being watched around the four winds, some famous program, years and years, headed by HBO, but it's like basically like a British type of drama, mini drama series, based in the UK. So it's like, it's like programs that would show over here in the BBC and all that, basically. But it's being broadcasted by an American company, HBO. And as I said, basically regarding these tariff and trade wars, there's scenes in this program where even Trump is the actual president at the same time when this program is being shot, or in the series or whatever. President Trump is actually the president at the time, and he's going having a trade war with China. Now what happens, they have a back and forth regarding these tariff wars, and then what happens is basically there was a false flag attack where China shot missiles on America, or it was a back and forth, so and so to speak, and basically a whole bunch of people died from a nuclear attack, but life was still carried on, so to speak. Thousands died. It wasn't the total end of America at that time yet, but that tariff war was basically a presentation for, basically an attack of warfare. It went from attack of words to, to them trading back and forth, sanctions and so on and so forth, to an actual physical attack with nuclear weapons. Now, I'm not saying that that's definitely going to happen in regards to them doing a false flag in this situation that's happening now within America and then China, because you all know that ultimately America is the one that's going to be totally destroyed off the face of the earth. But there are going to be false flag attempts in these last days, and so-called black swan events, and there could be so-called attacks with either like pocket type nuke weapons or actually nuclear weapons, so on and so forth, that could cause catastrophic disasters and a lot of death even before World War III. So this is part of the predictive programming, man. But it's funny enough, as I said, this program was broadcasted from 2019, and we're in 2025 right now, and the main topic of discussion is these tariff wars, trade wars, and the back and forth between America and China was that intensified to the point of no return, basically, where they had to use weapons of warfare to combat each other. Now and right now they're using the war of words and sanctions and so on and so forth. Now that's going out of control regarding Trump, because Trump's just like a loose cannon, and he errs in understanding and true leadership, because he's not a real president, man. He's just he's not even a politician. He's just a businessman that likes to bankrupt a lot of businesses that he runs. And America's nothing but another corporation that he's running into the ground. So I just wanted to mention that fact because they actually just presented this now. And there's no, this is no coinky dink that Esau is promoting this program as of now. When the topics of discussion that they talk about in this program, they make light of it like it's comedy. Like they talk about they break down the concentration camp scenario, about putting people in concentration camps in mass numbers, and how to basically, cut the numbers down, or cull the numbers, as the elite call it, the great culling. Part of the population control. And then there's other things as well. And this main woman here, in the blonde-haired devil with the red coat on, red blazer on, she's the main prime minister in the UK at the time. And she's just basically like, she's just like a female version of Trump. She doesn't, she doesn't watch her, Salakia, she doesn't use her words wisely, man. She just says anything that comes to her mind. And she's like a loose cannon as well. But she's been picked as to be a favourite, to run the country, so to speak, into the ground. And Esau will make fun of these situations, as I said, but this is real life. These are real life scenarios that are actually taking place as we speak right now. That's affecting people's lives, man. And Esau likes to make comedy of it because they're not in trouble as other men, as the scripture says in the book of Psalms. They speak wickedly concerning oppression. They like to make fun of the fact that they're, causing the poor to suffer, impoverished people, which are mainly the minorities, which are mainly Jakes, because that's who they, shoot in secret out of the perfect. Talk about the wicked elite. Psalm 64 chapter, which I'm going to read. And then you got the family up here, a group of delinquents called the Lions family. And, the head of the family is a Edomite, but he's got a black wife and all that, Eve and the serpent, so to speak, going into that whole debacle. And then you got these two, mole lovers as well that's in the family. So it's all like Gen Z type promotion of the alphabetisms and all of that as well. It's all, wickedness. And these devils making light of it, basically. And it reminds me of that BBC program, The Office. That's what I was going to say before. But it's promoted by HBO. If you know that type of production that The Office was shot in, that's the type of production this program, the years and years, is shot in as well. But as I said, it's very popular. And that is one of the number one programs on Netflix right now. So it definitely need to be watched because the topics of discussion, as I said, dystopian, martial law, concentration camps, geopolitics, the trade wars, and so on and so forth, false flag attacks, is mentioned significantly in this program. And this is all part of the predictive programming of what these wicked elite want to do before, basically they announce, the birth or the final capstone, so to speak, on top of that pyramid of their new world order, man. Before they introduce the MOT to the B, which is the the RFID hip technology, which I'm sure they're probably gonna I haven't watched the whole series yet, but I'm sure they're gonna put parts of that into this as well, regarding like digital IDs and stuff. So this is nothing but predictive programming at its highest form. And these devils trying to make light of the situation. But I've got a little paragraph here I'm going to read from the Wikipedia. This is years and years. It says, is a dystopian science fiction drama, television miniseries, written by Russell T. Davies. I'm sure he's a small hat. It says, taking place between 2019 and 2034. So we're in between those years now. We're at 2025, man. And as I said, this program came out in 2019. And it was already promoting and pushing that, the trade war between, tariff wars between mainly China and America. And there was a false flag attack. Someone attacked China and all that, hit them with a bomb and all these different things. So, this could actually play out, especially right now with all the shit that's going on right now. And this the main thing on the media. And, these elites want to use every scenario for all the Abkeo type scenario to bring forth that new world order, man. So this could very well actually take place, you know. It says the 6-part series follows the lives of the Lyons family, who witnesses interest increasingly tumultuous global affairs. You know, tumultuous means to murmur, argue. Global affairs and the rise of power of Vivian Rock, an outspoken British celebrity businesswoman. Just like Trump, he's a businessman. He's not a politician. He's a celebrity businessman, you know, and she's a celebrity businesswoman turned populist politician whose controversial opinions divide the nation. And this is exactly what Trump is doing. So she's basically like a female version of Trump. That's why she got the blonde hair, blue-eyed devil and all that. Just basically like a female version of Trump. She's running her mouth and she's outspoken. She just says what comes to her mind. Basically, you know, she speaks the opinions of the people. And that's what Trump does. He speaks like he's speaking for the MAGAs and all of that. But really, he works for the damn, you know, the deep state, you know, the secret government behind closed doors. He works for the wicked elite. He's just nothing but a puppet for the Kabbalists. And she's basically playing that same role in this program here. She's a British celebrity businesswoman turned populist politician. The same shit that Trump did. He's a businessman that was popular, you know, and then he turned into a so-called politician overnight, whose controversial opinions divide the nation, you know. So this series is produced between BBC and HBO, yes, because they wanted to broadcast it not just in London and the UK, but made sure it goes to America too. So that's why they got both major production companies, the BBC and HBO, you know, promoting this program. And this goes back to May 2019, for 14th of May 2019, and on HBO the 24th of June 2019, years and years. So this is not no kawinky dink that they're promoting this now, and that is the same things that are going on right now as we speak are happening in this program, you know, especially regarding the trade wars and all that, and false flag attacks, you know. So anything can happen because of this tariff war that's going on right now. You saw, you know, these wicked elite could use that as a ruse to bring forth, you know, major attacks and black swan events, economic downturns and all of that. You know, just fuck up the whole market, and which, you know, people are complaining already, you know, and it's going to get real dark out here, man. You know, Esau is planning to really, you know, turn America inside out and upside down using this guy DJ Trump, you know, the businessman Trump. It says drama, dystopian fiction, the genre. It says political thriller, science fiction, black comedy. Yeah, and that's basically what it is, a black comedy satire, you know, on geopolitics and all of that, man. Because Esau is not going to put this in a real program, like a proper serious program. He's got to make it a comedic, so people can basically watch it without having any too much emotions about it. You know, if he made it a proper program exposing the truth, then, you know, people would be, you know, jaws would drop and people would be rioting in the streets and, you know, trying to basically boycott the program, so on and so forth. But because he's made it in the version of a comedy, and people love entertainment, bread and circuses, and that's also in his program, bread and circuses. I forgot to add to that as well, you know, entertainment. You know, people being none the wiser. They'll think, oh, it's just a comedy, it's just making light of the situation. You know, it's funny that they're talking about the topics that are happening right now, because people are stupid. That's why the Lord said our people are so his children. And you don't understand that this devil is showing you what he's wicked and ill intentions right before your eyes, man. I mean, these trade wars are just happening right now in 2025. But, you know, this program goes back 4 or 5 years before that. So that means that whole trade war, tariff war shit was planned. You know, that's just another psyop, man. These tariff wars, it's a psyop, basically. A psyop of the wicked elite, a psychological operation to bamboozle the people and think that's actually a real situation. These elites planned all this shit, man. That's part of their, you know, plan A, plan B, plan C. Esau always thinks these things out, man. This is why they call, you know, this is why they say they do a diligent search. They do a lot of research, man, and experiment on the people. You know, mind control, all of that shit.
Esau's the devil, man. We ain't saying this for no reason. He's a mass magician. You know, he likes to, you know, cast spells on the masses. He's a mass magician, you know. So, you know, Psalm 64, prayer for the deliverance from the wicked, secret enemies, you know. Prayer from deliverance from the secret enemies, which are who? The so-called enlightened ones. The Illuminati, so to speak. You know, holders of the light, the Luciferians. You know, but the Lord said the light of the wicked is going to be put out very soon, man. And these tabernacles going to be dark. So it says, verse 2 says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. And I wanted to play the video, but, you know, Esau probably, you know, block it for copyright infringement and all that. So there's no point. It's probably just end up striking the video and, you know, putting a strike on my channel and all that, because I put the video out. So I don't want to, you know, play anything or, you know, put any visuals up. I'm just going to speak on it. Other writers are, it goes out, you know, and brothers get edified by it. You can watch the program yourself. It's on Netflix, man. It's definitely worth a watch. It says, hide me from the secret counsel, from the workers of iniquity, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, Salakia. Yes, who whet their tongue like a sword, and bend their bows and shoot their arrows, even bitter words. It says that they may shoot in secret at the perfect, which represents who? The children of Israel, the ones who they want to persecute, the ones who they want to stick in them concentration camps and put the sea hips in, man. And if you don't want to partake in that, they want to basically bring back summary executions by way of guillotines and firing squads and so on and so forth, man. They'll be shot on sight. You know, how we're giving the people license to kill. You know, the authorities license to kill. You know, and that's definitely going to happen in the time of martial law, the time of Jacob's trouble, which that's definitely in this series, the time of Jacob's trouble. But as I said, the Esau's making comedy of it, like it's not a serious issue. So suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. And that's what these devils are doing, man. They antagonize, they want to persecute, oppress Jake, and they think because the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, has not jacked their asses up yet, they think that the Lord's with them, like it tells you in Psalm 50. But these devils don't seem to understand the Lord just used you to persecute and punish his people, but you're going to have to pay for your iniquities as well. The Lord said the wicked shall not go unpunished. He will not at all acquit the wicked. So whatever you've done to us as these people, you know, the apple of the Lord's eye, you're going to pay for it, then some. According to the scriptures, it's double you're going to pay for putting your grubby red hands on the Lord's chosen people, man. You Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which make up the 12 tribes. It says they encourage themselves in an evil matter. What is that evil matter? The New World Order, man. You know, that's an evil matter that they're trying to conspire to bring forth, the part of their wicked device. It says they commune of laying snares privily. They say you shall see them. Yeah, so they put these things in programs, their ideas, the ideologies. They also have think tank meetings as well, like witchcraft think tank meetings, and that's where they were speaking about the concentration camps in their think tank meetings, you know, like a you know, the Bilderberg type meeting setting or a G20 type meeting, you know, but behind closed doors, they're speaking about certain topics and how basically you had to persecute the people, persecute Jake. They commune and laying snares privily, they say who shall see them. And that's what this is all about. They want to destroy Israel, man. You real Israelites out there. Because we're the ultimate threat against Esau's New World Order. The Hebrew Israelites are the biggest threat to Esau and his whole New World Order. Because, you know, they're about, you know, push forth lies and we're about pushing the truth. It says they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Yeah, when you want to put a bunch of people in a concentration camp to execute them, that's searching out iniquities. That's searching out ways to do more wickedness on the earth. And like it tells you, Micah, the Lord put in the power of their hand to do so. And that's why every morning they make sure they, you know, bring it forth to light. They do some form of wickedness, otherwise they can't have a good night's sleep, so to speak. Because it's in the power of their hands to do so. It says they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search. They search these things out, have researchers, think tanks, all of that shit. Backdoor meetings, you know. Basically doing like surveys and all that, experiment on the people and how to, you know, deal with certain topics. You know, how to deal with this population control, all of that. How to basically have mass control over the people. And that's where the MOT to the B comes in. you know, because that's the final capstone on the you know, that triangle, the pyramid of the new world order, having total, you know, uh, control over the people, man, mind, body, and soul, through that technology, man. It says both inward thought and every one of them, and the heart, meaning their mind is deep, yeah. So they do a diligent search, man, and they're on by any means necessary when it comes to accomplishing this new world order. It says, but the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly shall they be wounded. Yeah. So they're going to be taken out by their own wicked devices, which is ultimately that nuclear ICBM missile, man. So they shall make their own tongues to fall upon themselves, all that see them shall flee away. And like they always, you know, have whistleblowers and all that, and even between themselves, they're, you know, put it in their programs, as I said, part of their predictive programming, part of the gradualism. They show you their intent, you know, and they make their own tongue fall upon themselves, meaning they expose their own plans right before your eyes, you know. The lesser magic, so to speak. They show you what these devils want there to actually accomplish, and it's only for the initiated, you know, the ones that are, got the Holy Spirit that's dealing with them through the, you know, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and Rakah Kodash, that your eyes are open to see this, man. See the evil intentions and the plans of the wicked elite, you know. But if you're not part of the Lord's elect, your eyes ain't open, you ain't gonna be able to see what's going on, the bigger picture, so to speak, the large picture, you know, because you haven't got that spiritual eye self, you know. So only the elect can see the wicked intentions of the elite. You know, it says, and all men shall fear and shall declare the work of the Lord, the work of the Most High, for they shall wisely consider of his doings. So we're in that time, man, and Esau is about to, you know, totally reveal them horns, man. That's why Scripture says we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. We can't be ignorant in these days, last days especially. And Esau is definitely revealing the intentions of what he wants to do. And DJ Trump is following that whole plan. You know, he's part of the whole plan to cause America to fall, you know, economically, financially, all of that, into a dystopian state, and then bring forth what the MOT to the B, and ultimately, you know, things are gonna get out of hand, and then nuclear war is gonna take place, and America's gonna end up being destroyed, wiped off the face of the map, even by their own allies. Because this guy Trump, like Apostle Elder Tahar has been mentioning recently in most of his sit downs, he's on a tirade, and he's just as I keep saying, he's just loose cannon, man. He doesn't know where he's coming or going. He's just running off at the mouth, saying things and doing the total opposite, you know. And he's running America, the American society, into the ground, all because of pride, man. Why? Because he's just a businessman. He's not a politician. Even Wikipedia acknowledges that he's just a populist businessman, man. Like, let me read that line again, because that was just so obvious and blatant that this guy was set up. It says Vivian Rook, he's supposed to Rook, supposed to be the Prime Minister of England, but you know, you can switch that and put DJ Trump there, an outspoken celebrity, businessman, but she's a businesswoman turned populist politician, and that's exactly what Trump has been done. Trump has gone from a businessman turned to a populist politician. By who? By his employers, man. By the puppet masters, the wicked elite. Because he's nothing but a puppet, man, hanging on a string, being told what to do. Even this woman, what's her name, Candace Owens, came out. She's another insider, but she came out and said that, you know, the Jews really control the White House, and you know, Trump's nothing but a puppet hanging on a string, just like the rest of them politicians, man. Whoever got in office, whether it was Kamala or Trump, they would have had to do the bidding of the devil, man. Their father, the devil, which is the wicked elite. You know, it says whose controversial opinions divide the nation, and that's what Trump's been doing for years. This is his second term now, and now it's to the point where he actually wants to get rid of the so-called constitution and all that, so he can stay in office eternally, so to speak. Not eternally, but for, basically longer than the terms of 8 years. He wants to just stay in there permanently, should I say. That's the word, permanent, you know, presidency, you know. Like he's a Putin in America or something, just ruling for mad decades and all of that. You know, or BB and all that, just ruling forever. And no one else coming to in his stead. He even said it himself. He was going to be the last president before he got into office. And hopefully he is the last Trump, because then America, that makes it it's fitting for the scriptures when it talks about the seventh trumpet, and then America being destroyed and the elect being delivered, man. Because Esau is a trip, man, and this guy Trump, man, you can see the pride seeping off that devil, and he's definitely gonna be the last president by the looks of things, man, because he is running America into the ground. So it's beautiful. So anyway, man, yeah, as I said, this is actually a good program, years and years, black comedy type satire on geopolitics and all of that. But it's showing you, man, these devils are working, man, and their ill intent, of mass population control and the reduction and digital slavery through the MOT to the B is definitely on the tables, man. And we're in that time, we're in that season, so now is definitely the high time to wake up out of that deep sleep for the elect anyway. So anyway, with that, I want to close out. Give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash, and Shalom to the hopeful and sincere elect.